Is your city one of the fastest growing in the country? I'm Charles Blaine, and this is Texas Tomorrow. The US Census Bureau tracks everything from births and deaths to immigration and outmigration, and obviously everything else in between. But a new report is highlighting what major metropolitan areas people are moving to, and unsurprisingly, many of the cities that top that list are in Texas. In general, it shows what we've seen on the ground, and that's people are moving from high tax states to low tax states. But they're also moving from central cities to smaller cities. Tax burdens and expensive housing are the primary drivers, but so are cost of living and quality of life and proximity to family. The census looks at the annual population estimates for 800 cities, and most of the cities where people are moving are located right here in the Sun Belt. That's the area of the southern United States that covers the span of New Mexico to Florida. In the top 20 list, Conroe, Texas is number 14, and it's on 11% increase in population just in 2 years. And Burleson, Texas is next up at number 13 with an 11.2% population increase within the same time span. Cities in Florida and Arizona fill the gap before getting to another Texas city at number 8, which is New Braunfels, which had a 14% population increase. Even better, though, is that Texas cities dominate the top 5 fastest growing cities. Little Elm with a 17% increase is number 5. Number 3 is Leander with a 22% increase, and some reporting owes this to the area's award-winning school district. Number 2 is Kyle, Texas, with an increase of 23%, and number 1 is Georgetown, which had a 26% increase in its population in 2 years. Georgetown has been in the top 10 of the fastest growing cities in the country since 2015, and this is the 3rd time it tops the list. Overall, the state grew by about 500,000 people last year, but despite the growth in smaller cities, roughly 70% of Texans still live in one of the big 4 metro areas, and that's Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas. So in a recent episode of Texas Tomorrow, we talked about what's driving up housing costs, and mainly that was local regulations and the officials who implement them. Well, this is a prime example of the impact of those local regulations. Much of the increase in housing costs that people are fleeing from other states is because of their local regulations on land use and housing. Texas remains better than many in this regard, but we still have a lot of work to do on our own, especially with the number of people that we have moving here. While Texas and clearly our cities in particular remain enticing for people to move here, we have to understand that what makes them so enticing for people also means that we need to plan for the future. After coming in first and second, the mayor of Georgetown said they were adding 2 water treatment plants, road improvements to avoid traffic, and other improvements to entice businesses. So there are more jobs in the area for the people who are moving there. The first 2 are very real things that our local governments and cities across the state have to contend with when they see these massive influxes of population. Roads, water, public safety, public transportation, schools, all important components to a fully functioning city, and when one starts to crumble, it's not long before the others do too. But too often, cities ignore these issues until it's far too late, and then they either push for bonds or tax increases, claiming to the public that it's needed now more than ever because of the growth. But ultimately, it's because they didn't plan appropriately for the future. Texas is growing and will continue to do so, and our cities are serving as an engine for that growth, and our local officials should understand that and plan ahead so that those of us already here don't have to deal with the burden of them forgetting to plan ahead. So thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Texas Tomorrow. Make sure you share it with your friends and family, and let us know if there are topics that you want covered that we have yet to cover. And make sure you like this episode and share it on social media. Thank you.